Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm I if you don't know. I am on the PTB today, just checking out the new killer. Pretty interesting design, to say the least. She's the artist, interestingly enough. On the stream, I had just a suggestion from one of my viewers that it might be possibly the Morrigan, or giving Morrigan vibes, just due to the crow implication from the teasers and the fact that she has a certain visual that sort of resembles the Morgan. But you know, this is an interesting avenue to go, and I kind of like it. The fact that she's got just ink like flowing from every orifice and not orifice that she has is kind of interesting. You know, she got kind of a long neck though. I don't know if that's just, you know, whatever this is supposed to be, but she's got kind of a long neck. Anyway, let's quickly go over her perks. I just want to read them and give you my thoughts on them, and yeah, we'll go over her perks and then the survivors perks directly after. So, Hex Pentimento. You reveal the true power of the totems hidden within their remains. See the aura of destroyed totems. You can perform a ritual on a destroyed totem to resurrect it as a rekindled totem. The more rekindled totems that exist, the greater their effects. One rekindled totem reduces the survivor's repair speeds, by 30%. Two rekindled totems reduces survivor's healing speed by 30%, and then recovery, and then execute opening, and then all totems are blocked by the entity. Okay, so first thing I think of is this is never gonna get any use because of how many boon totems and how strong boon totems are. Now, I could be very, 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 very wrong about this, just because there's been a few games lately where people are like, I couldn't place my boon totems because there were survivors just going around breaking all my totems. So, like, quite obviously people are still breaking them. So, yeah, I mean, possibly. However, I feel like if you're in the upper levels of like gameplay, you're probably gonna see people never breaking a totem unless it's one, lit, or two, like they have to because they're on a time crunch, like say it's Noed or you know, something like that like, or Devour Hope, where they must break it, otherwise you're just going to die. You know, but the thing is like, usually survivors go and, you know, look at all the bones pretty early on, you know, but I don't know. This is one of those ones where, like, sure, it looks really strong. Oh, 5 rekindled totems. All totems are blocked by the entity. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. But like, you ever gonna get there? You know, like, it seems really impractical just on paper, but you know, it might be the opposite. It might be really good once you get into the game. You know, this is one of those ones where I'm gonna have to actually just try it out. Grim Embrace. Your act of servitude to the entity has not gone unnoticed. Each time a survivor is hooked for the first time, you gain a token. Upon reaching 4 tokens, Grim Embrace activates. The entity blocks all generators for 30 seconds. The obsession's aura is revealed to you for 4 seconds. Okay, so first time I read this, I actually think I read it wrong. So it blocks all generators for 30 seconds. The first thing I thought was, oh, this is going to be garbage, awful, terrible. Because they're just going to be like, oh, they have Grim Embrace. Well, let's just hide. And most survivors will hide, especially on perks like this. The one that comes to mind is Deadlock, where survivors, or even Corrupt, where people will just hide for the duration so that the perk's basically useless. So I like at my first thought was like, oh, this might only be useful for like setup killers who might be behind that want to go reset up, you know, or you know, killers that want to secure an area around the hook, such as Hag or Trickster, Trapper, something like that, you know what I mean? which is, I mean, it's fine to make niche perks, absolutely. But like for the greater picture, it doesn't really do anything in my mind. However, I'm now reading it says the Obsession's aura is revealed to you for 4 seconds. This means to me, you need to not hook the Obsession last. So you need to hook the Obsession first so that you can see the Obsession's, the Obsession's aura, and then you can immediately go get into a chase. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, you're gonna have things like maybe Thrilling Tremors or Barbecue and Chili or Discordance that might have gone off before you got put on the hook, or a gen might have gone off, or, you know, whatever, it doesn't matter. But like, the fact that you get to see the Obsession's aura for 4 seconds is really good because it points you in the direction where you need to go. So this might actually not be useless after all. So I might actually test this out on quite a few killers, pair it with like Deadlock and, I don't know, Pop Goes the Weasel, or, you know, something like that. But now this one is the one I'm excited for. Scourge Hook Pain Resonance. I said before, whenever Pinhead's Scourge Hook came out, that it's really cool because them adding a new, like, quote unquote type of perk, the Scourge Hook is gonna add a lot of like viability to the game, like versatility to the game, viability to just like throwing people on hooks or the correct hooks or whatever. So overwhelming pain reverberates outwards into chaos. At the start of the trial, up to 4 random hooks are changed into Scourge hooks. You see their auras in white. Anytime a survivor is hooked on a Scourge hook, the generator with the most progress explodes, instantly losing 15% progress and will start to regress. Survivors repairing the generator will scream, revealing their location. Whew, wow, oh man. That is fantastic to me. That is so good to me. Like, wowee. That's like Pop, but better, because you don't have to go over to the gen and kick it. So like what this will do in a pinch is, let's say you're on Azerov's resting place and you have a 3-gen, right? And there are 2 gens left that need to be repaired, and they have 1 gen on the other side of the map that's 99. Well, with Scourge Hook Pain Resonance, you're just gonna pop that gen from across the map. Pow! You don't have to go over there and kick it. You don't have to do anything. It'll start regressing. They might not know, and then all of a sudden, if they break your 3-gen, you still have a whole generator worth of time for them to do that you can play around with. So that's just like a one niche scenario that you can get out of with this particular perk. The other upside is obviously you put them on the correct hook, boom, you get a free generator regression, boom, boom, boom. You know, 15% that goes through things like Grim Embrace, for example, or Thrilling Tremors, because it's an explosion similar to, I think, Surge. Let's take a look. This is really cool, by the way. This number thing, I really dig it. Let's see, Surge, is that on page 6? Has that been pushed? Do I know how to spell? Am I dumb? Oh wait, it's not called Surge anymore. It's called Jolt. Oh my gosh. I haven't used this. I haven't used this perk. So, yeah. See, Jolt says instantly to explode, and this goes through any blocking generators perk, such as Deadman Switch. So, yeah. I mean, this will go through things, and it'll go through Ruin as well. So don't forget about that. If you have Scourge Hook, Pain Resonance, and Ruin, you know, you might have somebody regressing, but it'll also explode and regress more with Ruin, even with Ruin, you know. So that's kind of nice, even though, you know, you have to run it with Ruin. I mean, it's Ruin, so whatever. I thought I was gonna go to the Survivor perks, but let me quickly read over the add-ons. The power is, from a wellspring of eternal agony comes a swarm of darkness, a wild and ferocious murder of ink black crows. Press and hold the power button to charge Birds of Torment. Once fully charged, tap the attack button to summon a dire crow. You can repeat the action quickly by continuously holding down the power button and tapping the attack button again. When at least one dire crow is summoned, it stays idle for a limited time. Spawning a new dire crow will extend the time the previously spawned dire crow stays idle. Tap the ability button to propel the dire crows into flight. Dire crows can inflict damage from a short distance when flying, or for a short distance when flying. This is indicated to the killer by the dire crow's flight path. Once the dire crow continues past the flight path, it will no longer inflict damage, but can now pass through any obstacles and reveal nearby survivors using killer instinct. In this phase, dire crows will create a swarm around survivors they hit, allowing the killer to see the swarm's aura on the survivor. The survivor can repel the swarm by completing the repel action or entering a locker. During this time, the swarm's aura is not shown to the killer. A survivor being swarmed will receive damage if hit by a second dire crow. I've seen this in action. If you want to see it in action, there are plenty of streams going on right now and probably will be for the next day. I'm going to be playing this myself a little bit later on, so I'm not really interested in talking about this in particular. However, the one thing that I will say is that it's a ranged killer. She's 110, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Oh, wait, no, she's 4.6? What? She's a ranged 4.6 killer? Nani? Okay, that changes things. I thought she was going to be 4.4. All right, well, never mind. Interesting. Interesting tracking, interesting zoning, interesting everything, really. You just like throw it into a path and pow, there you go. I like the fact that it says that you can repel the swarm by completing the repel action or entering a locker. That means that there might be some secret, what's it called? Might be some secret Iron Maiden value on this killer, just to get the exposed status. As weird as that sounds. Anyway, let's quickly go through the add-ons. Vibrant Obituary increases the length of time a dire crow's killer instinct reveals on survivors by 1.5 seconds. That's all right. Tracking increases the time for them to repel by 0.5. That's kind of. Yeah, it's like a mend add-on for like Legion or Deathslinger. Killer instinct detection range by 1.5 killer or meters. I'm sorry. Okay, basic. These are all basic. Increases the time dire crows stay idle before disintegrated by 2 seconds. This one might be good. Just so you don't have to release them as fast. Velvet Fabric. When a survivor attempts to repel a dire crow swarm, the swarm's aura remains visible for an additional 1.5 seconds. Oh, that's kind of nice. That might be useful, just for tracking purposes. When a dire crow swarms a survivor, it afflicts them with hindered status for 1.5 seconds. This is like the hindered status add-on for Nemesis. That's so short of a time that I don't think it really matters. Increases the. Well, I mean, it's actually 1.5 seconds. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with it. That's really not that much time. Increases the time dire crows stay idle before disintegrating by 4 seconds. Again, pretty good. Just numbers up. Decreases the cooldown time by 0.5 seconds after a dire crow takes flight. That could be good. Depends on the number that this originally affects. Decreases Birds of Torment cooldown by 1.5 seconds after a dire crow disintegrates from activity. Wait a minute. Okay, well these are the ones that we'll have to be testing, like in-game, just to see their effects. Okay, this is just Sloppy Butcher on your power. When dire crows swarm a survivor, it afflicts them with the Oblivious status effect. Okay. I think that's the whenever they swarm, that's the out of range, non-damaging bit. So, that might actually be cool. Oblivious is kind of nice. Doesn't say how long. Might just be as long as they're swarmed, which is probably not that long. But you know, it makes for something interesting. Just kind of throw off the survivor, get closer. When dire crows swarm a survivor, it afflicts them with the Exhausted status effect. Oh boy, people are gonna be upsetty spaghetti about that. When dire crows swarm a survivor, it afflicts them with the Blindness status effect. The effect persists for 15 seconds after dire crows are repelled from a survivor. Okay. It's blindness. Who cares? nobody actually cares about blindness. I'm gonna be honest. The Dire Crow's aura is no longer visible when in flight. Huh. The Dire Crow's aura is visible for 0.5 seconds when summoned. That's weird. That is very strange. Maybe, yeah. I'll have to see what this does. Decreases the length of time the artist's movement slows when the Dire Crows take flight by 0.5 seconds. Okay. That's probably just really good in general. Any survivors near a survivor being swarmed by Dire Crows will also be swarmed. Oh, that sounds very good. If you hit a crow on somebody working on a generator or something, and there's like 3 nearby, or 2 nearby, or 1 nearby, it's like boom, boom, double swarm, which is kind of cool. And then you could do like, I don't know, the double exhausted, pow, easy. Survivors within 5 meters of an idle Dire Crow have their auras revealed for 3 seconds. Could be good. I assume that the survivors can see the crows and will probably avoid them, just because they deal damage. But, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Increases the maximum capacity of Dire Crows by 1. Decreases the time Dire Crows stay idle before disintegrating by 4 seconds. I mean, use the ink egg with the still life crow. There you go. Add on completely, like it's just 1 more crow. The artist gains undetectable status when the Birds of Torment is in cooldown and she holds no Dire Crows. Decreases the maximum capacity of Dire Crows by 1. Huh. That is very strange. Maybe you could use that with the still life crow to just like keep them out for longer. I don't know. That's interesting. I mean, undetectable 4.6 killer could be, you know, nice. You just run around and grab people or just hit people or whatever. When a survivor affected by Dire Crows completes the repel action, they're afflicted by the exposed status effect for 4 seconds. 4 seconds. I mean, you'd have to be on top of them. 4 seconds is no time at all. That's genuinely the shortest time you could possibly have. So let's go over the survivor. Okay, so first few, we'll go over this last. So overcome, a new exhaustion perk. You've calculated how much energy you can risk to expend. When you're injured, you retain the movement bonus for 2 seconds longer. Overcome causes exhausted, cannot be used when exhausted. Yeah. This is really good. Like, I think people might underestimate how actually genuinely good this is. I kind of want to use this with like a strong med kit and then lucky break or something. Like, literally you get hit anywhere and you just disappear. Like, whoa, and then you immediately like run away with like Iron Will or something. Does this man have a phone? This man does. He has like a tablet. What the heck? Like, I mean, I guess he's an FBI agent, but like looking sharp, buddy. Yeah, no, that's like, I think that this is really good. Like, I would love to see more Overcome instead of Dead Hard, because like I genuinely think this might be maybe not as good as Dead Hard, but like at least as good as Sprint Burst in some situations, because you just get hit and leave. You just get to a better place. Who cares? Bye. Corrective Action. You quickly analyze problems and correct others' work when they make a mistake. You start the trial with 3 tokens, and you gain a token up to a maximum of 5 for every great skill check. When a survivor fails a skill check while cooperating with you, 1 token is consumed and their failed skill check becomes a good skill check. I am not opposed to adding perks that help with the new player experience. But this perk isn't objectively good. However, I will say that this perk counters any griefing survivors that may come along and just decide to grief you by blowing up the gen with Technician or something, which is kind of nice considering I've had that happen fairly recently and it was miserable. But yeah, I mean, it wouldn't totally counteract it, but it would kind of fix things. But otherwise, I don't think this perk is very good. Okay. Now it is time for the worst perk I've ever seen in my life to ever exist. Boon Exponential. When it seems like your number is up, you consider ways to recalculate the odds. Press and hold the ability button near a dull or hex totem to bless it and create a boon totem. Soft chimes ring out in a 24-meter range. All survivors within a boon totem's range recover 100% faster and can completely recover from the dying state. You can only bless one totem at a time. All equipped boon perks are active on your boon totem. Oh, God. Now, I don't know if this means that okay, so like, let's take a look at Unbreakable, right? Increases dying recovery speed by 35%, right? So what I think this means is that I don't think it actually increases your dying state recovery speed by 100%, whereas this only does 35%. I think that this just lets you recover normally, and I mean, I could very well be wrong. If it does recover as fast as somebody healing you with We're Gonna Live Forever, dude, this is gonna be so miserable to deal with as a killer player. This is gonna be so silly as a survivor player, because if I have a friend that is boon exponential and I throw on like power struggle and flip flop, right? Power struggle, flip flop, and tenacity, right? And I crawl away and I heal 100% faster within this boon totem, even for a little bit. I get my power struggle immediately, no matter what. They can leave me. They don't have to help me. They don't have to bother with anything. If the killer doesn't pick me up, literally as soon as I get downed, I have a free escape. I just leave. Now, obviously, this is Survive with Friends, but, you know, as we've seen, boon totems are way stronger in Survive with Friends than even in solos. But in solos, they're still pretty strong. But genuine opinion, I think this is a horrible perk for the game. Like, it is so strong that you're gonna see 2 or 3 of them on every Swift, combined with Circle of Healing. I genuinely think that this is gonna be like, on 2 people, there's gonna be like boon exponential, boon Circle of Healing, and then like dead hard decisive, or dead hard iron will, or dead hard something else. And then on the other people, they're gonna have like prove thyself, like borrowed time, whatever, it doesn't matter, right? Because, like, I don't know, it so much of a killer's pressure can come from slugging that you just lose if they have these up all the time. I can already hear people saying to me, like, just do bones, dude, just do bones. Like, yes, just do bones, but here's the issue, okay, with doing bones, and I would normally agree with you. There are certain maps where just doing bones is definitely not feasible. If I'm on the Ironworks of Misery and they get a good totem spot where it's up the ramp and on the catwalk on the upstairs at all, that whole main building is just completely a safe zone, more than it normally is, right? You know, if the basement's down there, they can go down and save from the basement, an easy escape, unless you're like Huntress or Bubba or something. If, you know, they're anywhere on the map, they just run to the main building. If they have shadow step, their scratch marks disappear. You know, thankfully the building's not too strong, but you get the picture. You know, the healing from boon exponential and the boon Circle of Healing is insanely strong. They can just run there and they're safe. They can self-care or whatever. Same with something like Larry's, where the boon totems could be in any room, or they could be in like a strong area where they just go, and if they have shadow step, their scratch marks just disappear, and if you're any sort of slower killer, you're never gonna find them again. If they're on a place like the Gideon meat plant, if they're downstairs and you're upstairs, you're not gonna drop downstairs to break a totem just to continue the chase. No, of course not. They're just gonna be able to heal while they're looping, because it takes a while to break break pallets. Like, you know, things like that. It sounds like kind of cringy and kind of whiny, but like, these are all real things that happen to me on a daily basis. Like, I play against survivors that do this, so I don't think that it's unrealistic to say these are going to absolutely annihilate any, like, they're gonna make survivors go from like an even game to a crushing victory on certain maps, or with certain placement, or with certain like team play added in, right? And like, you're probably saying, you know, that's probably a good thing, but I don't know if it is. Like, I just don't know yet. It might turn the killer experience at the highest level from one where like, oh, you know, every once in a while you'll get these hard games, to like, no, everyone now has we're gonna live forever, unbreakable, and like, they're all just gonna put on decisive strike because of one boon exponential and one boon circle of healing. Like, it's gonna be something pretty untenable, I think. So I don't know. I guess it remains to be seen, but it's gonna be pretty harsh, I think. So, all right. Well, that's what I think about that. So tell me what you think about this new killer in the comments. I would love to hear your input. If you disagree with me about the boon totems, or you disagree with me about anything here, I would love to hear your input. Keep in mind that this is coming from someone who mainly does play killer. I try to be as like non-entitled killer main as I possibly can. I do definitely see the side of the survivors quite a bit. I just, you know, I do think that this is something that should raise alarm for the overall health of the game going forward. So I would love to hear your input. Be sure to tune in tomorrow, where I should be able to put out a Blight game on the test build. Who knows if it's going to be a full game, because people tend to be on the PTB and go, "You're not playing the new killer, how dare you," and then they DC immediately. So, you know, we'll see. All right, thanks so much for watching. Follow me on here, give me a like, subscribe, and all that stuff. Follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/INO, every weeknight at 10 p.m. And yeah, I'll see you there. Have a good one.